What's going on, guys? Caleb here, Northern Michigan Bow Hunting, and today I'm doing a review of the Spot Hogg Whippersnapper thumb style release. I just switched over to a thumb release here last month. Been shooting this thing for right around a month now, and literally one of the best decisions I ever made was going from a wrist style release to a thumb style. Best decision I ever made, and I'm so glad I did it. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some of the adjustments, some of the things I like and don't like about this release, and then finally we're going to go outside and we're going to send some arrows downrange with this release. There are only two adjustments on this release. You have your thumb barrel adjustment, which you can rotate this thing 360 degrees in a circle, or you can take it, flip it to the other side for if you are a left-handed shooter. And then the other adjustment is the basically the sensitivity of this release. It already came pretty hot out of the box, and by hot I mean sensitive. When you're turning down the sensitivity on this, you're actually going to get a little bit more trigger travel according to the directions. So what trigger travel is the distance that the trigger is going to have to travel backwards before actually releasing the D-loop and sending the arrow down range. I haven't played around with that because I literally found the sweet spot to where I personally like this release, and I'm leaving it alone. I'm not going to mess around with anything else. I did mess around with the thumb barrel a little bit here and there just to get it into the position into where I like. Another thing with the thumb barrel too, while I'm on that, is you have to be careful when you're setting this up. If you don't want the thumb barrel so tall like this and you want it more downward, well, when you adjust this, make sure that the bottom half of this, or well, in this case it'd be the upper half of the thumb barrel, is not going to contact the release itself, because I did notice that, and it actually didn't let the jaw open properly. It kind of like hung up a little bit because the trigger was not able to travel all the way back because the barrel was hitting on the actual handle of the release itself. Things I like about this release, it's pretty sensitive. My buddy has just bought last weekend, he bought a True Ball Fang, and honestly I really like this one a lot better. It fits my hand a lot better, and I've got pretty big hands, so if you're a guy that's got bigger hands, I think this one's going to fit you a little bit better. You know, yeah, I've got big hands, but they're long and my fingers are long and they're skinny, so, and the True Ball just really didn't fit in my hands. What I do notice is that the way the neck is on this is that if you're shooting for, say, a long period of time or whatever, and typically I'm not shooting much more than about half an hour or so, is that the neck area can kind of start to rub on the inside of your middle finger here. It'll become a little bit uncomfortable, but it hasn't gotten to the point where I've got to stop shooting. It's something that's like, okay, yeah, this is kind of somewhat hurting me, but it's not that bad. I still can shoot. And realistically, you're not going to be shooting a deer, 100 times. So realistically, it's just something that it's there, but it wouldn't be something that I would be too terribly worried about. As you guys have heard, you can hear that. You don't even hear that during when you're, or I shouldn't say during, but when you are shooting, you don't hear that. My coworker, I brought this into work because my coworker wanted to check it out, and that's immediately what he said. He goes, "Dude, that's loud." And I'm like, "Dude, you don't hear it when you are shooting." So it's like, what's the point? Yeah, it's loud right now, but when you literally are shooting, you don't even hear this. All you hear is your bow. So that's another non-issue with this thing. This thing is pretty comfortable overall. Personally, I kind of wish I went with a 3-finger. I think a 3-finger would have been slightly more comfortable, because a lot of times I find my pinky just floating wherever it wants. It doesn't want to stay on that. That's my thoughts on this release. I like it. The price point is really good on this thing too. It's like 120 bucks. I picked it up on Amazon, so if I didn't like it, I could just simply print out a return label and then send it right on back to Amazon and get my money back. Great option. Price point's there. I like it. Trigger's really, really smooth, nice and crisp. Good adjustment on it. Thumb barrel adjustment too. I would highly recommend this as a beginner's release, or even someone intermediate as well, or just someone who is looking for another thumb release to throw into their collection. Let's go ahead and step outside and go send some arrows downrange with this release. Another quick tip, I got a couple more suggestions for a lot of people that are looking at getting into a thumb style release. Just go to your archery shop. If you know of a place that sells thumb releases, get your hands on them, try them out, take your bow there, shoot every single one of them. That's going to be the best way to find out which one you like. I can say that this is going to be the best one for you till I'm blue in the face, but you might not actually like it. My buddy just bought a True Ball Fang. I hate it. Absolutely hate the way the trigger is. It's too small in my hands, just doesn't feel right. I find myself jerking or not following through properly with the shots. You know, so it's just one of those things. It's personal preference. So get your hands on every single one, or every single one that your pro shop has. It's the best way to go about it. Secondly, when you get it, walk back literally 5 yards to 10 yards to 20 yards, and just keep going back until you are seriously comfortable with the release. It's going to help you because it's a different world when you shoot these things. And it's exactly what I did. I started out at 5 yards, just got the feel for it, got the feel for the sensitivity and all that, and then just gradually worked all the way back, and now I'm shooting like 60 yards with this thing. As you guys can remember, just making sure you guys can hear that. We're set for 20. Can't even hear it. We'll do one more. You can't even hear it with the bow. And that's out of a 2019 Spectre E Darton. So, anyhow, you guys heard, you can't even hear it when you're shooting your bow. I think the deer are honestly going to hear the bow before they're ever going to hear the release. So, just my tidbit of advice. Great release. Definitely well worth the money at 120 bucks. Great for a beginner, intermediate, whatever. Hopefully this review helped someone else out there. If it did, hit that like button. Subscribe to us if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you all in the next one.